What is good, everybody? I am back with a brand new video, and today I want to do a small review and my first impressions of a shoe that is specifically designed for disc golf, which is the Idiosyncrasy. Hopefully I said that right. Now, I have played roughly 7 to 10 rounds, I would say, in these shoes, which is why this is going to be a first impressions video. But before I get into that, I just want to go over some of the technology behind this shoe and why it's designed specifically for disc golf. Right off the bat, let's start with the outsole and the tread pattern. So the tread is a multi-directional tread pattern, which basically means whichever way you are moving, it should keep you nice and secure to the ground and should cover you where you don't slip. You'll see multi-directional patterns on a lot of basketball shoes, considering you're always moving side to side or diagonal. But whereas this basketball shoe is nice and flat, the Idios feature this in a cleat style. So these actually come out of the shoe so that when you are on grass or mud or you're on the side of the hill, these cleats are actually digging into the ground, allowing you to have a sturdy base under you. And since it is a rubberized cleat, when you are on a concrete tee pad, you should be fine and they should give you enough grip not to slip. Moving to the back of the shoe and the heel part of this outsole, this is what they call their power plant. So as a disc golfer, and when you follow through, your toes tend to come up and then you rotate on your heel. So what they've done here is actually rounded off the heel, made it nice and smooth so that when you do come up on the heel, it's just a nice smooth transition through your follow through. Something that you might not even have taken into consideration, but this company sees through the form, and honestly, I think it's a good detail to put in. Now, moving to the front of the shoe, more of the toe area, this is what they're calling their X-Flex. You can see these two lines that are in this outsole. And what this is basically doing is just allowing the shoe to be more flexible. When we're running up, we're typically more on our toes or on the fronts of our feet. And so instead of this just being one solid piece, they've kind of implemented this, and so you can actually have a little bit more flexibility in the shoe while you run up. It's a nice little feature. I just think the average person probably isn't gonna even think anything of this. Now, what's nice about this outsole is it actually wraps up into the upper, creating this nice toe cap in order for toe drag. They're calling this the drag on. I know when I first started throwing backhands, I probably went through 2, maybe 3 pairs of shoes where I tore the outsole from the midsole like completely off because I dragged my feet so much. Now, as I've learned better form, this doesn't happen as often, but definitely I think this is a great feature to have on a disc golf shoe because this is an area I feel like people wear out the most. Finally, moving up into the upper of this shoe. First off, I do want to say it is a relatively narrow shoe, but I do think this was on purpose. Starting at the back is going to be the most narrow part of the shoe, but moving forward, they actually widen the toe box. And the reason for this is they don't want your toes all scrunched up. In fact, when you go to plant, they're saying they expanded this area so that all of your toes can be pushed out and you have more of a sturdy base to push off of. Super interesting and something that I didn't even ever think about. Now, when I have these shoes on, my foot feels nice and secure. Part of that, I think, is because their sidewalls come a little bit higher up on their midsole, and also there is more of a sturdier material here in this heel. The upper is made out of this plastic type material and it's woven as like a mesh pattern. But with that being said, this upper is fully waterproof, which is, I think if I were to design a disc golf shoe, that is the first thing that I would think of. So if these weren't waterproof, I'd probably have a problem. As far as the laces and tongue go, it's pretty standard. The tongue is made out of, I really don't know. I don't know if it's just kind of like a fake leather. It's pretty soft, but it is very thin. But overall, that is the Idiosyncrasy in a nutshell. I got a size 10. I wear a size 10 in basketball shoes, and these fit me perfect. So I would say they are pretty true to size. Now, with all the technology and details out of the way, let me just give you my first impressions after wearing these roughly 10 rounds. First things first, let's start about the traction. I think this is the best part of the shoe that I've experienced. So I used to play in just your typical trail shoes, and I would say this cleat pattern, I don't think I've slipped one single time. due to conditions outside. With these nubs being so far out of the outsole, I think my biggest worry is just them grinding off from concrete T-pads. I don't know how sturdy this rubber is going to be. So far, it's holding up well, but you can see more wear throughout this toe area than you can in the back of the shoe. So I think that's my biggest worry, but overall, I would say the traction for me has been really on point, and I'm very happy about that. One of my biggest fears always is just slipping and not being able to do anything about it. But so far, this has covered that worry. Now, as far as the power plant goes, it's very smooth transition from my follow through to the power plant. Although I would say with my trail shoes, it's not like I ever really got stuck and over-rotated my leg or got hurt in a sense, but I definitely think it's a detail that's there that you might not notice that it's helping. And I feel the same way with the X-Flex. I think it's a great detail they put in the shoe, but I just don't know if the average player is gonna realize that that is a detail that needs to be in the shoe. As far as how waterproof the shoe is, I haven't really been able to dig deep into that. I mean, I've played in mud, I've played in kind of dewy situations, and my feet haven't gotten wet. Although I haven't been playing when it's like raining out, or it's super wet out. So I really haven't been able to test that as much as I would like to, but once again, that's why it's a first impressions. The shoe I feel very nice and locked down to. I think I said it earlier, but these are fitting really true to size, I believe. I feel very nice and locked down. I don't feel like I'm gonna roll an ankle. They feel good. The shoe is nice and comfortable. It does have a removable insole to it. Now, it's not a very thick insole, but I don't find there is a problem with comfort with these shoes. Actually, I think they are quite comfortable. I think my one complaint, and if it's really that big of a complaint, is I think the tongue is a little bit too thin. So when I go to tie my shoes, I can feel these top laces up against the top of my ankle, and it kind of digs into my ankle a little bit. I mean, I don't have like a cut there or anything, but I do think if there's a second version coming, this tongue needs to be just a little bit thicker. I think that'll add some extra comfort as well. But after this short time that I've been playing with them, I am really enjoying them. I will say I don't have any huge complaints about them so far, but within this short time I've been playing in the Idios, so far they're doing me pretty good. Now in 6 months, I might have a different opinion, and I really want to update that with you guys and kind of just tell you my experience with this shoe. But as of now, I'm not mad about it. Now, if you want to check these shoes out, you can click the link down in the description. It'll take you directly to their website. I do believe they are on sale right now for $90, and they retail at $129. So add them to your cart, and I guess thank me later. Anyway, guys, that is my first impressions and a small review over the Idiosyncrasy. Now, if you are wearing these shoes, let me know down in the comments if you do like them, if you don't like them, or what you think that they can improve on. But for now, I will see you in the next one.